seekers in the night, hopes and fears written in gold. Truth appears as stories unfold. Flip the cards, turn around. Mysteries we have found in the shadows we dance.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the MyTarot Morning Reflection, our daily inventory and a chance to check in with the universe. Man, I hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. As I take that breath, yay! Good morning, Jenny. You know, I love collecting tarot decks. I got two more sitting in front of me, but you know, sometimes I get asked, you know, like especially Mina, talking to her, she likes the newer decks and everything. Good morning, Angelina. And why I keep coming back to the original Marseille tarot. You know, I mean, I use other tarots throughout the week, but to me, I guess in my head somewhere, it's like these same images have been around, you know, for over 1,000 years. And these kind of like survive the test of time. I'm not even pulling up an image, am I? Oh, you know, so they've been around for 1,000 years and survived the test of time. So in my head, it's like, are these archetypes like something that's ingrained in us, these particular images, and that's why they survive for so long? And it really doesn't, you know, there's really no logical sense to it. But in somewhere in the back of my head, it's like, these images have been around for a long time. There's got to be a reason. So that's just kind of why I keep going back to the original. So, but what are we doing here? Again, welcome to the MyTarot Morning Reflection, our daily inventory and chance to check in with the universe. And a reminder to take a breath. So, listening to the cards like the sounds of the ocean. Reminds us we have the ability, we are allowed to just put our feet flat on the floor, roll our ankles just to get comfortable, have our butts do the kitty dance, so we can get comfortable in whatever seat we're in, and then a reminder about those shoulders, relaxing them, seeing where they are, doing that shoulder gauge, and then the neck, and then it's like, kind of ready to go someplace else. Good morning, Natalia. We were just talking about, no, I'm kidding. But it's a chance for us to just flip a light switch that says, let's just go someplace for an extra few minutes. Let's tap something, whether it's in the back of our mind or whether it's something that we're tapping into out there, but we're all tapping into it together and checking in. So, taking that breath, listening to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean, following those routines, following that pattern that says, changing those brain waves. Let's see what the universe does have for us. So I'm going to make our 3 stacks. And what is that? That's like each one of these is a different thread going out to the universe. A different thread coming up to the spring that's coming out soon. I hope so. It's getting light outside. But each one of these is a different thread going out to the universe. Each one's like a different thought or a different idea. And if we believe in a multiverse, it's as if each one of these is a different path, because this stack will lead down one path. This stack is a whole different conversation, which is going to lead us down a different path as compared to this conversation. So, and let's see. Today, let's take the center stack, or what I like to think of as things that are right at the heart. Whew. And I'm going to do hour, 3, and 1. And here's the exciting part, the part that every morning or every time I do this, I get a thrill from, because again, it's like you don't know if it's going to be like a real stumper. And so that's why I always say it's about intuition and just trusting. Right? Intuition and trusting. Because if I think too much about what's under here, and then I analyze each card, and then I doubt what my subconscious says, then I'm not using intuition. So it's just about having a love for the cards and trusting. So our first card today is the Knight of Cups. Look at this guy. He's all decked out for a Friday, right? So, Knights, element of fire. 1500s, as I like to say, they're the first ones are going to throw into battle because they're ready to just jump into something. They're all action and energy and movement. And then cups are our spirituality, our emotions, and our feelings. So when we're the Knight of Cups, and court cards can be us, could be somebody else, part of a situation. They're not male or female. They're masculine energy, feminine energy, right? But we can get the sense of what it's like to sometimes when we just run into something or let our emotions lead us like this. This person is staring at this cup, and it's our emotions, and sometimes they can guide us around, and sometimes that's a good thing. It's a freedom. But let's see what our knight has their back to, the Knight of Chips again. I know I get a lot of the same cards. And we get the 5 of Swords. So what is he ignoring? So it seems like we've had this kind of running theme of not seeing clearly, letting things cloud us, which means we can kind of get dragged around, or our emotions and our thoughts can be pulled left and right. Because when we have the 5 of Swords, 1 sword's an idea, 2 swords, we're making choices. Because swords are the element of air. There are thoughts, our ideas, sometimes our anxieties. So these are our ideas, and we're thinking it's, but keep in mind that we're also the Knight of Swords. So we're making these decisions. And sometimes we have 4 swords, like we did yesterday. 4 swords is like the 4 legs on a table, so that's stability. And then when we get that stability, something throws a wrench in there. And so the 5 of Swords is when things just are not. 5s are always a challenge. And so the 5 of Swords is not the 10 of Swords. This is a process. This is just a normal day-to-day card where something throws us off our game a little bit. Here we are. We're there's something we're not seeing probably because our back is to it. And so it's something that just kind of like pops up. We're like, oh man, what is that? What's the next thing? But again, it's just that 5 when we try and go over hill. It's not 10. So let's see what the next card is, though. It's the Pope. So, and what is the Pope? Well, let's not look at this as religion. Let's look at this as tradition. What is it that we learn from the card like the Pope? The Pope is about institutions. The Pope is about traditions. The Pope is about the things that we've learned or learning. So when we talk about the Pope, it could be whether it's a business, like when we go to work, there's rules we have to follow. There's traditions we have to follow. There's somebody who guides and teaches us, and we learn, and then we start teaching. But the thing about it is that it's a foundation. Sometimes, like with my job, or a lot of jobs, there's an SOP, a standard operating procedure. I don't even have to think. I just need to go in and just do what I know I need to do. So this is one of those things where we get blindsided. We're just, we're enjoying our day. We're having this lovely day following this cup around. And then something that we have our back to, something we didn't notice, something we didn't expect, something happens. And again, the minors are the day-to-day cards, but the Pope, Le Pape, this is our destiny card. And this is what we fall back onto. And it's funny because I have such a thing against religion. It's like, it took me a long time to get past. And I can see, as I was discussing earlier about the different various cards, I can see why people create the different cards and why I personally use different cards. But also, it's like that challenge of when I see a religious card that pops up makes me think in a certain particular way, and the universe is saying, you selected these cards, let's look in that direction. But let's take a look at the advice card. And it's the Four of Cups. So, we talked about four like the four legs on a table. Here we have our cups. And when we look at cups again, which are spirituality, emotions, and feelings, cups are water, right? Cups are the element of water. And so water and stability, water and not movement, that doesn't kind of go together really, does it? What happens to water when it's sitting still? It stagnates. It needs movement. A pond needs a way to flow out so new water can flow in. So today, as we're going through our day, and we become aware of roadblocks, the Five of Swords. Do we want to get stuck in that Five of Swords? Do we want to just sit there and let that, talk about the sword of Damocles just, hanging over our heads? Just add a string to it. Do we want to live in this card right here? Or maybe sometimes we just need to turn everything off and say, you know what? I'm going on autopilot. Because with the Four of Cups, the problem is getting into the Five of Swords and stagnating. No movement. Follow what I'm saying? Here we have the Knight of Cups, and all these things were going on. I'm doing these things, and it's, things are moving. I'm the element of fire. Crash. Somebody opens up a newspaper, or somebody, or something doesn't meet my expectation? Oh no. You have not met my expectation. Well, that can make us feel bad, but if we had Le Pape come by and say, you know what? You got this. You just do what you need to do right now. Forget about what you're doing. But the main thing is, the Pope is saying, is don't sit still. Don't just wallow. Oh, man. He'd say things like, if you stay on that pot too long, it's going to put a ring around your butt. So today is about movement and just finding a comfort zone, finding what we do know, especially for this weekend because it's a Friday, and we move forward. So with that, I hope everybody has that amazing, amazing weekend. Don't let this get to you here. You got this. And with that, thanks again, everybody.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand, whisper whispers of fate, echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards, turn around. The stories we have found in the shadows we dance. Take a chance, take a chance. Ghostly figures.
YouTube is crushing traditional media. What does that mean? Well, let me give you a few statistics on my own channel. I've recently hit 1 billion views on this channel thanks to you. I'm at 1,500,535,818. If you analyze all the watch hours I've had, that means how long people have watched these videos. This chart says 105,738,084 hours. So how long is that actually? Well, I asked ChatGPT to calculate that, and it says that 105 million watch hours is 12,069 years back to back. Well, 12,069 years ago, which was 10,045 BC, Earth was undergoing significant environmental and human shifts as it moved out of the Ice Age into a warmer, more settled period of human development. So you'd have to start during the last Ice Age watching my videos, and you could get up to date by today in 2024 to get those 105 million watch hours. Now, my channel is a really big channel, almost 4.5 million subscribers and 1 billion views. But where does that actually rank? 913. 17,812 channels have more views than mine. It is 59 billion views. Billion. It's hard to even meet the stream 1.3 or who needs to be. It can be 3 hours long, and the seconds, or years more than all of those put together. The Jimmy Kimmel video, song 90, I knew the whole history of him being in the band. He came, Dominic joined that Dominic was coming with him. He same person account all day, playing with McCoy Tyner or Herbie. Only that, I just can't. And that's just a fact. Their publicists don't appreciate you guys. They're
What's 12 inches long and hard in the morning?
Wait, don't tell me.
Not South.
What do you call
Reddington, what do you, how did I...
What's...
Reddington, what do you, how did... I told you over the phone, I can't give you access to the database.
You can. You choose not to.
Because after 3 years, you're finally up for a promotion at Customs and Border Patrol. Come on.
6% raise, plus dental.
Percy Spencer invented the first microwave oven. And how did the company he worked for reward him? They promoted him, they patented his idea, and they paid him $2 for it. $2.
But CBP has been good to me.
I nuke Mr. Beeks.
You wouldn't.
I wonder.
That's what's some mango sauce in the cabinet.
Fine, just take my laptop. It contains the portal to Addis. If anyone finds out, I'll be fired.
You completely missed the moral of the story.
It wasn't that you'd kill Mr. Beeks.
In a microwave? What do you take me for? The moral of poor Mr. Spencer's tale of woe is that you should never worry about betraying your workplace, because given the chance, your workplace will definitely betray you.
Reddington, what are you...
I went to the pool today and I took a piss down the deep end. The lifeguard noticed and blew his whistle so hard I almost fell in.
What part of a vegetable can't you eat? The breathing tubes.
Why is dark spelt with a K? Because you can't see in the dark.
You know, I once dated a girl who was a twin, and everyone's like, oh, how could you tell them apart, you know? I was like, it was easy, you know? Jessica painted her nails, and Michael had a big juicy
Who gets most offended by the phrase, go hard or go home?
Everyone together?
An orphan!
I went to the pool today and I took a piss down the deep end.